Good morning, everybody. This is Lee of Universal Astrology, and it is April 12th, 2022, all the twos. And today we have a bit of a special alignment, so I was going to cover that real quick. And I probably would have skipped right over it and missed it if it wasn't for my friend from Manifest Enlightenments. Thank you. I'm sure she'll have a post up too. I just want to take a look at the charts and what it looks like in the sky today. So we've got a couple of really interesting things going on. We've got Mars real close to Saturn on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. I am looking at sidereal charts, not tropical, so do note that. And we also have Jupiter lining up with Neptune. In Aquarius, technically, but this is real cuspy to the Piscean energy. They're at 28 degrees in Aquarius. Real strong poles as this is opposing the moon, and the Mars and Saturn is opposing the moon energy. So this could cause some balance as well, but also some restrictive necessity in the emotional departments to act on these things that Mars and Saturn have some control and influence over. It's going to be really emotionally difficult today to avoid those things. The Pluto square is over to Mercury, so it might be difficult to discuss or communicate power issues or issues in politics. Might be a struggle today. However, this Jupiter-Neptune alignment is super, it's got a lot of spiritually packed energy in it of coming together. And Jupiter is expansive, rules over things like spirituality, and Neptune rules over things like the subconscious and also has a lot to do with things like spirituality and the astral, dreamland, and all the things that go on within and without us that we can't necessarily see. So Neptune rules the unseen, things that are hidden. And so Jupiter coming together in one way might exuberate the darkness, but for others might exuberate the light. It really will really depend on what's going on in your psyche. So if your psyche is full of dark and fear, that's about to get a lot worse for you personally in the emotional category as you realize how connected you are to this. On the other hand, this is also a good opportunity for things in the Aquarian energy before they enter Pisces to really be exposed for the sake of good. So that's what I see out of this energy. And of course I am my own person, so take it as you will. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Again, this does have a really high potential of being a very spiritual time for a lot of people. We're going to put on display capture and go see what this looks like in the sky. So here we can see that this alignment with Saturn, with Mars and Saturn here, is real close to the tip of this Aquarian, or Capricorn, and it's also lining up real well to Celsidad of the Aquarius. Now Aquarius is very much an overlapping in space, but we can see how close this is, how conjunct, on the gateway this is between the Aquarius and Capricorn. So super interesting. I mean, very, very easy to see. And Venus is really close to this as well. And if we look this direction, we can really see how the Earth, Jupiter, and Neptune are lined up here to the Piscean energy of this knot over here, which is that in-between point. Now, if we look just above this, we're also real lined up with Pegasus, and the fixed star that's really in perfect alignment with this is Markab. So we'll take a look at that in a second and see what that kind of energy brings in as well. So that's what this looks like, and what the chart is telling us is that, hey, these planets are lined up real well. If we look out further in other directions, we can see that, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, if we were to look at their charts, we would see this alignment, this Pluto Saturn Jupiter alignment in their charts. So Jupiter is lined up with Saturn and Pluto. Saturn is stuck between the middle and opposing both Pluto and Jupiter, and of course Pluto would be conjunct with Saturn and Jupiter. So this is a powerful time for those three outer planets. As you can, if you can tell, like, they are having a lot of communication, a lot of they're over there in each other's quarters, so to say. So they have, even on a very scientific level, their field lines and gravitational poles and things have some kind of chance to interact when they're that close together. So things to think about. As close as the inner circle of smaller inner planets are, most of the time these outer planets spend a lot of time far apart. But again, Jupiter and Saturn are not that far apart, and they're real lined up with Pluto. And Jupiter being lined up with Neptune here is quite a big deal. Again, Jupiter is considered Zeus in the sky, the grandfather, the ancestor, and Neptune is everything that's hidden. So let's look up Pegasus Markab and Del Capricorn and see if we have anything of interest here. That's Kuan Yin in the background, if anyone was curious. So let's see. We've got okay, so Markab and Pegasus. This is again the star lined up with Saturn, that Saturn conjunction. Alpha Pegasus is a white star located in the saddle of the winged horse Pegasus. Means the saddle of the horse. Has a similar astrological influence to those being Sharkab or Shakit, Alkanib, and Markab. Interesting. It gives honor, riches, fortune, danger from fevers, cuts, blows, stabs, fire, and violent death. Markab is one of the nature of Mars and Mercury. So it is lined up with Saturn and Mars. So this is going to be giving it more of a Marsian energy than a Saturnian energy. And to me, that might, it might light more of a fire and cause more things like war and martial decisions, things like that. It pretends for nature from cuts or stabs or fire, but it can also indicates riches and honor. So this can be a sign, a symbol for some. It really depends on when you think of war or battle or being in an argument. Even just simple as being in an argument for a lot of those that aren't involved in war right now, this is indicating that today is going to be a time of battle and arguments and things of that nature for some. And so that can be really difficult when we're really fired up or passionate about something, as well as especially if we have something of value to protect, honor, to protect something, or riches, which indicates something to give away or be something to be gained. So we all have something, whether it's material or not, to be gained or to be lost. And so for some, that this measure is going to be tested. So the Markab in the saddle has a Mercury-Mars nature. Tradition has it that the conjunction with Mars, Saturn, or Uranus or Saturn, which we're in right now, will bring dangers from fire, weapons, or explosions. So really, really possible that somewhere along the line here, we're going to see some big booms. It has it gives good head for figures, intellectual alertness, mental powers in general, and the ability to further propaganda activity, if at the same time irrelevant aspects are also present. So yeah, we could be seeing a lot of hullabaloo today in this regard. There is the other star here is in Capricorn. And so it is one of these, yeah, Deneb. It's real close to Deneb, if not Deneb itself. Go, 49. All right, so if we look at dorsum, dorsum means the back is on the part of the sea goat that is the back. There's no special mythology attached to this star apart from the constellation. It was classified by Ptolemy as a Saturn-Jupiter type. Individuals born with this conjunction are prominent in their charts, are well organized, having a role in life, the ability to play it, and well beyond the average of their fellows. It rules the left leg just above the ankle in the human body. So, interestingly enough, we've got Saturn and Venus here, which a lot of times has to do with mental and emotional balance, feminine and masculine balance. Even though that's not what this is focused on, it is still in effect. So there's a little bit of an update on today's astrology. I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.